Hi, this is Chuck Oliver. Welcome to this week's Hidden Wealth Review. Well, the Democrats are about as busy as the patterns pattern in my jacket in trying to find ways to tax you and I. In fact, Elizabeth Warren was quoted in saying in this last debate, hey, it's not going to be enough to tax just income. We're going to have to tax wealth. Folks, there's never been a more important time to have a tax protection and future tax rate risk prevention plan. And I want to talk to you about an article I talked about at Hidden Wealth Radio this weekend. And one, Stephen Moore from The Hill, and the other is Grover Norquist. Grover is the founder and president of Americans for Tax Reform. And here's what was interesting. In Stephen's article, he talks about this. Now think about your thinking here. After both Kennedy and Reagan tax cuts, reported taxable income by those in the highest income brackets almost doubled in less than a decade, right? All of this recorded history has been lost among liberal politicians and academics. Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and many others are longing for a return to the era of punitive tax rates on the rich as a way to reduce income inequality. Economist Emmanuel Sage of the University of California argues we should go back to a 70% tax rate since they worked so well the last time we imposed them. Now, did they work well? Think about this. If we raised income tax rates above 50%, and many are calling for 70% tax rates, businesses and investment capital will flee to the lowest tax jurisdictions. Ask nations like France, Greece, and Venezuela what happened to their economies when they devised new wealth tax systems to soak the rich. Now, this article you can upload, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to upload this article. It's well worth reading, and it's a short read. Grover Norquist, I think, says it best. He says, federal taxes are too high. Federal spending is too high. Both should be reduced by reforming government to cost less. You see, he says the problem our nation faces is the federal, state, and local governments spend too much. Not that it fails to take more of our time, our lives, and our life savings each year. Right? They just spend too much. All the other is a byproduct of pain that we all go through, right? Politicians begin to focus on reforming government to cost less only when we citizens take raising taxes off the table. Government needs to reform itself, not you and I with higher taxes. Economic growth increases tax revenue. And I preach this now and I write about it in my books. Now think about that. Not by hiking taxes, but by having more Americans working with higher wages. The same tax rates bring the government more money, not less. Some people like the idea, he says, of taxing the other to punish successful people, but that damages all Americans as jobs, income, and growth fall. Envy leads to very bad decisions. It's a character flaw, not a political program, and my favorite. Government should focus on its own failure to reform itself over the past decades rather than shove its fat hand into your family's pocket again. Folks, here's the opportunity. There's so many that we've had the blessing of being able to teach how to pay less tax. If you had a higher taxable income earning year for 2019, maybe you sold a highly appreciated asset, a business, a building, a rental property you got caught off guard with what that tax is going to cost you. Those of us watching this may never see lower taxes for the rest of our adult lives, especially with the unknown of the outcome of next year's election. So if there's a time to save tax, it's now. And if you want to save tax for 2019, it's got to happen now. Simply email help@taxessave.com. If you prefer, you can just go to taxessave.com, and the article that I referenced in a very short to the point Hidden Wealth Tax Saving Solution video can be previewed, and you can put information in to be contacted while there's still time to save tax. Folks, you worked hard for your money. Remember this if you only remember one other thing. The government, especially the left-leaning politicians, think it's all about tax. The reality is those are the takers. Those of us that are the makers are going to get stuck with that tax. And if you want to avoid that tax legally, ethically, and morally, now's the time to do it under the Trump administration before it may be too late. Taxessaved.com.